Ryanniag Ti Ilocos Sur, programa ngagserbi kamang kenrang tayo iti gobyerno probinsyal. Lalo na, iti beneg iti sanggo niyang panlalawigan ti probinsya ng Ilocos Sur. Mangted tinanay ng informasyon kadagiti programa, proyektos, tulong, ken mga sistir kadagiti ang problema nga OFW ang kalugaran tayo. Ryanniag Ti Ilocos Sur. Tinagaget, Produktibo Presiding Officer, the busy Governor of the Province of Ilocos Sur, Ryan Luis Singson, our main anchor, Ken Lito Javier, our co-anchor, Ryanniag Ti Ilocos Sur, at tuyen nagsubli ngagserbi kada kayo, agsipod tada kayo ti inspirasyon mi, Ryanniag Ti Ilocos Sur, da kayo ti inspirasyon mi. Hello, good morning, Ilocos Surian, and welcome to Ryanniag Ti Ilocos Sur. Da kayo apo ti inspirasyon mi nga pagserserbian sa pila ko matay ti piaken karadkad ket da kayo apo dita mismo nga sangwanan ti television nyo manen Iloco Heritage sa channel, Facebook Live papagayam, and welcome. Nako, ang init. May 9 ngayon May 9. Kumusta po ti biag? Kumusta ti sitwasyon? Kintarebente nga probinsya nga Ilocos Sur, pagiliante nga Pilipinas, kintarebente po nga Lubong. Yan. Ito no malam, ada ti regular session, sangko niyang palalawigan ti probinsya nga Ilocos Sur, babanti presiding officer tayo, apo BC Gobernador Ryan Singson, ken siyempre, dagitay board members tayo papagayam. Laket active niya. Buyain yun to apo ti biyang ti Ilocos Sur agenda. Adad tamot apo daytoy Ilocos Sur agenda tayo nga pakabuyaan nyo dagitoy na dumaduma nga activities iti probinsya tayo nga Ilocos Sur, particular iti sanggunyang panlalawigan regular session apo kailan. Alakat siyempre magnamin ti aramid, magnamin ti trabaho di panlalawigan dagiti na dumaduma apo nga pagteng paspasamak iti kadano maduma nga ili-ili, di jayo apo nga maamuan dagita resolution, dagita ordinances ti tunggal ili, ken dagijay panaka-aprobar dagiti pumpundoyo apo, dagiti kunatayo nga appropriation ordinances apo kailian, dagijay nya ti dijay apo ti pakaadalan na amin dagita pati dagitay accreditation iti non-government organizations, people's organizations, mga kaibigan, dita amin apo. So nga, dito lang Iloco Heritage sa channel, awan ti edit na, awang cut na nagiyay, buyain nyo, makita yun kasano apo ti panagtrabaho, dagitay, board members tayo, apo kailian. Yan, kasi recorded amin na dagita apo, iti program tayo, Ilocos Sur agenda, kasi 3 times a week nga may pabuya dagita. Then sumarunong nga session to manan, same, mabalbaliwan to manan kasjay, mga kaibigan. Ken halak na damot, at damot apo diti programa tayo Ryanniag Ti Ilocos Sur, nga isumat apo iti pakapadamagan tayo kalaksidan kadagyay session. Ken dagiti daduma pa yung aktibidades met ti BC Gobernador tayo, noad da dagitay darayan na tirwar, especially kadagitay paspasamak met, mga kaibigan. Ken kahit ko lang ipakamuman na po dagitay license to own and possess firearms, LTOP. Dagita LTOP yo nga ag-expire, adati marami na po nga LTOP karaban niya po BC Gobernador, may kapito nga tawon dayto nga mapaspasamak nya, pito nga beses nga nakidi LTOP karabanyo. Gagayem ka na po kailian. Okay, di LTOP karabanyo apo. Okay? Di to San Esteban into no 1 San Esteban 1 and 2. Bali duang aldaw dayay. So dagitay agrenyo nadars mo laang ken dagijay ag LTOP damo na apo ti ag LTOP papagantap no makagatang kayo apo ti license firearms yo apo kailian ag LTOP kayo. Ket first come first serve nya, habang dapat lang nga po iti slot paspasan nyo gagayem kasjay. Di balit halos dandani every municipality adati LTOP karabanan na tinaudi ka dijay San Juan, no Agrero. Yan, nalpas mo dito ilit ibantayan. So, dagita kayo tag Eltop, mga kaibigan, alakat gondawayan nyo dito'y offer apo, iti presiding officer tayo, Vice Governor Ryan Singson, ken dita iliti sa San Esteban, apo Mayor RJ Elaido. Mayor RJ, good morning! Kumusta ka dita? Happy viewing, gayem. Yeah? Eltap Karaban dita po. Okay? Ken padaanan tayo, adanto ti isagot nga po Vice Gobernador, concert, inton no birthday na, palubos na po Diyos. Diyak pala may baga, no, dinunta ti pakaramidan na po ti concert, either nga ti pagpilpilyan, dito'y bigan, wenno, dijay kandon. Jay barbarwa po nga convention center di kandon, mga kaibigan. Or, dijay UNP. Yan. Di lang mabaling apo Vice Gobernador nga dila University of Northern Philippines sign. Ngam sa bagay, tapno makabuya mo na kita sa second district Ya, mabalin lang tamat. Gagayem ka na po kailan. No, kas pangarigan bilang lang apo. Tas jay iti ang nangyari. So nga doon activities. Diyan ka mo, no, danto pa'y job fair. Kasi dati-dati ka tagpapa-mega job fair pa isuna, iti June, mga kaibigan. Yeah? So nga, padaanan tayo amin, kita nyo po di official page na, di Ryan B. Singson page, makita yun di mabuhay yun di madamag yun di apo kailan, dagito'y pasamak. Yeah? Dagito'y mabaling nga mapasamak to apo para kadigdi sumarasaron to nga gondaway gagayem ken apo kailan. So nga ingkay to kitain na po, ingkay to padasen, mga kaibigan. Taragita pagsiatan tayo amin sagsagot apo iti presiding officer tayo Vice Gobernador Ryan Singson, gagayem ken apo kailan. Hopefully amin ni gito po kat matuloy. Kaya nagitay programs to pay nga pasamakan tayo po para karag sumarasarno nga agundaway. Okay? Musta kayo amin na po dito probinsya tayo nga Ilocos Sur, gagayam ka na po kailan nakahahat hat kayo. Pati tinumutibiyang very naghahat ako Ano bang agas? Naghahat kayo. Naghahat tayo amin. 34. Umabot apo ti 34 degrees tata. Baka nabarbara pa'y. Kaya, ngam idi na minsan. Sos, Mariosep. Idi kalman. Nagubranak dito yung pisina. Tada ita problema ti tayo di mo malpasan. So sanya nga bara nang selama lang taon nadigusan itiling eten iti malem Grabe. Agwa kayo apo numota uso pa iti heat stroke tata. Uso ti atake. Ay sos Mariosep dati gayem ko nga secretary, SB secretary dito ilit ibantay pimusay pa imutem piman. Ala. Nyan. Condolence apo ti Debrib family ni Punards sa dagdag. Piman, hindi kalman na dyan, very hot. Talaga, hot na hot kasi. So nga, drink sa nga timbaw adanom every day. Impossible lang 8 glasses of water. If you want to drink beer, yung malamig na beer, 1 case, hindi lang 8 bottles of beer. Pag tubig naman, Unli water, mga kaibigan. Tano di kas tapo kat hang kayo nga may stroke. Sos, agdigos kayo mo nagdigos sa man tibigatan. O riki di man, mabalin, 3 times a day agdigos ka. Digos ka ti aldaw, digos ka tuman iti rabin, sabay ka nga maturog, kasjay. Sos, digitaw beng, launay, mga kaibigan. Kita nyo, no, gay ayam na gitaw beng, tanong naslip ta bagina, aglalo ta bukot, sukatan nyo nga dagos. Anyo nga baybayan. Iso ti pakaalaan na po ti sakit. Tonokuan, nagparateng, nagkurigor, nagpneumonia. Daya, pneumonia ti kalaban tata. Dito ti kaduan na po nga klase ti sakit tata. Dito Pilipinas. Because of this, very hot, mga kaibigan, naghahat ako mayang. Yung makulam. So nga, inom kayo nga inom, tidanom. Dahil lang ti payok kanyayo mga kayo, naglag ka nga mangibaga, ti kasta, di mo nga aramidan, kung nayo mga ta. Man, kaya ka na, dadanom ka o tatan, itugtugot ko. See? Okay. No, dati kastoyo po, di kito'y bottled water tayo, siguraduhan nyo nga nalami is. One? Wanuhan, adamo dahil jay mabalin nyo apong pangikabilan na po nga container. Tapno iti kasta, ma-press yung bagi tayo. Na kayo nga man nalon, luminong kayo. Hanga porkit na talon, sige, pamula dito, ay po, nabannog, narigat ting talon. I tell you, masapol nga parbangunin nyo, alas 3 ti parbango, nagring kayo. Kaya yung laki, di kan makita yung laki, di pagtrabahuan yun, okay. Mapang kayo to jay bangkag, bumangkag kayo to, mga alas 9, tanong tigas na okay pailaan, papagayam. Ngam na tayo tengatal daw, alauna, mapangkay manayin. Yan, ang abali nga sumre kayo, alas 2. Aglepas ka to, alas 6, desisyon tigas yay. Kasi alas 6 ka, nalawag pa'y malaan. Dahito tiriga na tatama, El Nino phenomenon tayo, mga kaibigan. El Nino phenomenon. Kumbaga, mas critical tata, kumparam ka dagidi. Di kailangan Cambodia, di jay ayan dagiti atleta tayo ti SEA Games. 39 degrees. Grabe. Kahit gabi ko nada nga roden na po, kahit kano ori rabi nakabarbara di jay. So nga duriga dagad adjust, nabarbara mga Pilipinas ayn. Sa tikong ko na nga rod, asidag samot timpiernon. Pinabara mo time. Kung naman nun nalamis yung pierno. Kasi lang kung initan ka, nakasasidagan, kasi lang tayo malamagaw-gaw atin. Mario, Sep, saka pala pa nagsinanglaw, tinakabarbara, saka pala nagsili, ay sos, Mario, Sep, ibagay yung mga ati makan. Nagiti kastoy po nga, kasi lang kumbaga, the best merienda forever, ati summer kay halo-halo, o ba? Sila kahit kutik halo-halo mayang. Daglakod ta? Baba? Okay, good. Madamdama. So, di kabuudo na. Nagbarang amin. Panglaban lang nga po. Ken, pasaray kita nyo ti BPO. Lalo kanya yung kita lumalakay. Kita tawon ti 60. Urepin tagtawon na kita agtawon ti 40. Pangato. Nagkita tinti critical age tayo mga kaibigan. Pag nalampasan mo daw yung 40, okay ka na. Pero pag sapit mo na sa edad na 60, doon na naman mga kaibigan. Kita nyo po na kita. Siyempre, dito ti kalaban tayo ngamin. Aping ngamin nga nakapudpudo tayo. Dati kastoy nga talaga mo tayo. Dinayanak tayo, kastoy mo tayo ka. Aday nga ron. Nagbaliwan na katawan. Tila nagbaliwan na kasi lang nakarkaro nga bumarbara lata. Kan naunag ti dandanuman hanggang sliding nga narabaw. Di ba? That's the beauty of climate change, mga kaibigan. Di ba? So bumarbara nga bumarbara. Very hot na talaga. So nga na kayo, kung naamanan, climate change na ito po, mutay mo tayo ubran tayo, labanan tayo kaya tayo mga kaibigan. Nagitay importante dito, mula-mula tayo po ti kayo. O renuhan tayo nga bagi nga jaylote, mulaan tayo, kasyay, parangan tayo, mulaan tayo, kita nyo parangan nyo, no, datay, dati dakila kayo, tapos, da ka zero na, nagpariir, di ba? Nakasisyaat, nagsyak maturog, ngamno, da ka nagbalay mo, agar erkong ka, ay sos, mapaw, Mario Josep, into no si Mang Yibil mo, maatake kan, adadamulangan, kasyay, tiriga na, agbil ka ti 10,000 ti makabulan wanen ay Mario Josep di ba kakaasi ka lakin tinumo ti biyangan duwa nga balay ti Ikamon, ti gundaway nan, mga kaibigan, ay, po, kuna nga kada kayo. So nga, lapo, ya, tayo di nga because of the ozone layer, kumbaga, na nalsukan, ya, nawangwanganan, kasjay, mga kaibigan, dadailan, iti, kwa tayo na po, ozone layer tayon, mga kaibigan, kasjay apo iti sitwasyonon, kadagituin na po nga, agundaway. So nga, kunak man ka na kayo, sa balitatan na po. Ya? So nga, itibiyang iti Department of Education, di gitad duma, nag-request na kanu pa iti, what they call it, parang panagbaliw niya, parang panagbaliw ti schedule da. So nga, diti first district, into nubigat, awang klase da, ingganan sa ti John 6, mga kaibigan. Because of this, masangsang na panahon, nakabarbara yung nagklase. Ori upat ti kwarto, kasi siyempre 60 ti estudantem, papanan na. May mesala ango diay, naalsem. Yung nagklase. Siyempre, nagito big. Mapariga na mga agpaiso. Siyempre, pakalaan na po ti agdaringongo. Nagyapay, no nabara ti bagim, agnosbleed ka ba pagayam ganon ya so nga amin nagita po kitain tayo matap no tikas taket hanteng nga mabiktima kada kita nga bambanag ken dita opisina opisina kailangan adalat ta ti danom yan may mga tubig tayo diyan may mga tubig na malamig mga kaibigan siyempre kasalamat dita balayuan siyema adamo yerepyo di ba ganon po yon so nga amote amin nagita po ti Brian tayo because of this weather conditions po natin hanmak ni baga tayo nga unpredictable lagi ti kastoy syempre kabara na nga rod iti tiyempo ken panawon mga kaibigan kabara na so nagita po niya unpredicted gagayem ken na po kay Lian okay so sapay-sapay lang kuma dagito nga bambanag mga kaibigan ket hantayo po nga mabiktima iti heat stroke or parang nosebleed, tanabara laki nga rod, amutay amin nagita ti remedyo na, hantay ko nagbambandog apo, no, dakay di tarwar, mga kaibigan, kung nakmang ka na kayo, luminong-linong taylaan. Diba? Ganun po yon ti obrain tayo, nakabarbara nga talaga po. Probinsya pa yan tayo, how much more, no, daka kadagita syudad, taglalo kahit nakongkreto ti glawlaw, mga kaibigan, nako, nakama ka niya, iso nga, payong kapatid lang yan ha. Nakita lang nga po ti pasamak mga kaibigan. Okay po, agsubli tayo apo. Nagito'y palagip tayo. Kaya kitang tayo tumat noon niya pa nagiti daduman to apo nga may play tayo. Tilakad na po BBM. Di Malacanang mga kaibigan. Heto na po. Commercial break muna.
No serbisyo analaka nga catering ti Masapulyo, adda iti Caril's Garden Catering Services ang masarakan di Mabini Street, Barangay Rizal, Cabugao, Ilocos Sur. Adu pa iti agkakaimas nga makan ti inkay pagpilian. Ken saan lang kadayta na ornos ti serbisyo da, napintas iti set up da. Ken saan yon a problema no kasapulan nyo iti venue. Oray anyaman nga okasyon ket mabaling nga rambakan kas iti kasar, birthday, anniversary, reunions, meeting, ken dumapay. Caril's Garden and Catering Services ti kapintasan ken kalakaan. Nadaras pay akasarita ti akin bagi ani Sir Carlito ken Maricar Asena. Wenno kontaken iti numero 0917-799-1273. Wenno 0917-799-5110. Caril's Garden and Catering Services. O may kayon.
Problema yung wenno theoretical driving course. Kasapulan da ito kalagiti mangalat student permit. PDC, wenno practical driving course, paramat kadagiti mangala iti non-prop, wenno professional driver's license. Upgrading iti restriction code, paramat kadagiti mangnayon iti mabalinda a manehuen, ken ti special driving course, paramat kadagiti kayat na tagsursurong agmaneho iti motorsiklo, tricycle, four wheels, manual, or automatic, ken dadumapay. Naanos ken nalaing dagiti driving instructors da nga accredited iti LTO. Dito'y second district, masarakan ti RX Driving School iti National Highway, Barangay Tablak, Candon City, abay iti Sacred Heart Medical Laboratory. Dito'y mat first district, masarakan ti RX Driving School, abay mismo iti LTO. Dita poblasyon is San Ildefonso, Ilocos Sur. Ken dita probinsya ti Ilocos Norte, masarakan ti RX Driving School iti along the National Highway, Barangay Kalagip, Batak City, sango ti Lucondia Cultural Center ken Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital. Asideg iti mismong LTO. No lisensya ti panagmaneho, ken nasaya ta pagsusuruan ngagmaneho, RX Driving School iti papanan. Para tadadong informasyon, tumawag wenno ag-text kayo iti 0917-578-3132 ken 0917-811-0581. Dito First District San Ildefonso, 0917-306-3735. Itamot Second District Candon City, 0917-120-1745. Ken dita Batak City, 0917-329-0591. RX Driving School.
Kaya't mo kanayon na nakakondisyon ti motor mo, saan tayo abaybayan ngagdadael? Siguden na patarimaan, tadda tinalaing ken naanos a mekaniko, ken pagkagatangan ti high-end ken genuine a piyesa ti motorsiklo. King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises. Anyaman na piyesa ken brand ti motorsiklo kasapulan at daamin dita King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises. Saan kan ngagpaspasarak, mapankan di sigurado. Adupay di pagpilyan tinadumaduma a brand apilid, motor oil ken kumpleto apang setup. Pasyaren ti Pestuda sa Jikabarwan, Santa Catalina, Ilocos Sur. At dapay branch na ditaigid ti National Highway, Sunto, Bantay, Ilocos Sur, ken Sadyay, Dagupan City. Ride safety. Siguradwen anapintas ti kondisyon dagiti motorsiklo. Adda ti mapagtalgaan a King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises. Ken no kasapulan kiloga na pagpasya, ken adday ti darayan nyo nga okasyon. Kastapay no dasabaten nyo akaming ti pamilyayo a balikbayan at danda iti ban amarentaan. Kontakin nyo ti numero 0917-188-7507. Upwa ken imatmatonan da Bonnie ken Lynn Rabe. King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises.
Foods ba ang hanap mo? Kaya't mo tek mukbang ng basit ti budget. Kapangkan sa J Books Eat Food Hub. Masarakan ti igid ti National Highway, Barangay Kabarwan, Bantay, Ilocos Sur. Giserve dati only wings, rice, lechon kawale, sisig kanda dumapay a pagpilian. In kayon ti Books Eat Food Hub. Matmatunan dito ni Miss Eileen Tolentino ken ni Miss Luenalo Manlies. And the food, ngem suwak sa bulsa. Anya pa'y tururayam, mapankan ti Books Eat Food Hub. Books Eat Food Hub, sigurado mabsog ta buksit mo. Nagberbero kay matinaimas nga pulutan wano dagiti maprito amakmakan. Saragam lang ti Choylin Fried Station. Masarakan ti naduma-duma pwestuda ti probinsya nga Ilocos Sur, adda dita syudad ti Vigan, Iliti Santo Domingo, Kabugaw, Sinait, Narvacan, ken Candon City. At dapat pwestuda dita Abra ken pati Batak ken Lawag City, Ilocos Norte. Ado dagiti mabili mo pagpilian. Adati fried chicken, crispy pata, fried itik, lechon kawali, tokwat baboy ken pork sisig. Choylin Fried Station. Fried to perfection. No kaya't mumati only rice ken only soup all you can, 3 mantas grill house lang sapat na. Ado dagiti pagpilian mga combo meals nga sigurado aswak ti budget mo. Masarakan ti 3 mantas grill house sa Bayubay Sur, San Vicente, Ilocos Sur. What are you waiting for? Come and visit Trimantas Grill House today. Kung mahilig ka mat dagiti matuno makmakan, na Tuno Grill House lang ang iyong kailangan. They offering chicken inasal, pork barbecue, chicken barbecue, ali rice pork inasal, ken ali chicken wings. Masarakan tinatuno Grill House sa San Jose, Narbacan, Ilocos Sur. Anya pa'y tururayang, pasyari mo dagito nga panganan. Na imas tagbiag no nananam timakan.
Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives. Ti kooperatiba ano bayagin nga nagseserbi kadang ti Ilocano iti amyanan a Luzon. Ti kooperatiba ang manipapaay ti serbisyo, benepisyo, ken mangisakit kariti empleyado ken miyembro na. Ti Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives wano NSCC ket adon tinatulungan na. Babayin med iti namayat alangin-langin ken kooperasyon dagiti miyembro ken mangimatmaton. Adon tinagduroasan ti kooperatiba. Adupay dagiti naynayon ang kasdek akas ti NSCC Farm, Chicharon Processing Facility, Macro Laboratory, kastameten ti NSCC Plaza, ken NSCC Business Center. Isungan niya pelang ter orayam makikapengkan iti kadakilan a kooperatiba iti probinsya. Di Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives suman na NSCC. Imatmatunan na daytoy ni Dr. Gibina Kenny.
As the heritage province of the North reopens to tourists, it launches the all-new Tour Ilocos Sur app. A quick guide to Ilocos Sur at your fingertips. Find the best tourist spots. Hotels. Bars and restaurants. And authentic Ilocos Sur products and food. Be updated on upcoming events, plus get notified on the important announcements and updates. Available for global download on Android and iOS. The Tour Ilocos Sur app. Historical becomes digital.
Rapaapo kaditi makayayo abuya iti uneg iti pagtaingam. Anyama nagasapulam kas ti moderno a klase iti silaw kada dita ti chandelier LED lights kenda dumapay. Kasapay karigiti agkakapintas at toilet bowl. Wall claddings stainless sa lababo. Kastamenten na dumaduma ti klase na a tiles kenda dumapay ang materyales at kasapulan ti pagbangon ti balay. Pasyaren ti AC Newborn Home and Builder Center. Nalawa ti showroom da. Agkomportable kang agpili ti kayat mo a disenyo. Mabalin pa'y nga isuday ti magi-set up kadagiti katangin. Masarakan sa Rizal Street, Sulphur, Bantay, Ilocos Sur. Imatmatunan na Mr. and Mrs. Alain Chan. Saanen ngagtaktak mapankan sa JAC Newborn Home and Builder Center.
Okay, tultuloy ito yung papagayami di programa Ryanniag Ti Ilocos Sur. Ito'y mapaspasamak po nga SEA Games gagayem nga inatenderan na po dagitay atleta tayo dijay pagilian iti Cambodia. Barbareng no maigasatan da dagita gold in preparation for the forthcoming nagana diyen mapasamak tumanen apo nga ay ayam gagayem ken apo nga kailian tintaramente apo nga lubong lakat ikararagan tayo mata dito yung atleta tayo. Dito yung probinsya tayo nga Ilocos Sur, they are preparing for Region 1AA. Dito Pangasinan ti pakaaramidan diya kamo no Pangasinan 1. San Carlos City. So that the host San Carlos City. No agpa Manila ka makuam lang dayay madalanan papagayam. Nakapudpudot balit at tapo ti training period da tatangalawas. Dagitoy ubing tayo. Ya. So nga da kayo nga maader, ngudra iti anna yung atleta tayong kayo kitain kay ikan iti vitamins da dayay. Hindi na minsan di session dayay ili iti San Vicente, maaramat dayay San Vicente ground nga pagpraktisan dati I think football yata. Dagitoy agay-ayam apo iti banag iti football nya, dagitoy pagtrainingan da dagitoy. So nga agsagsagana rin ito bing tayo, nakapudpudot nya. Tibiyang nga po ti Bigan City team, itibiyang nga po iti Candon City team, kastamit iti Ilocos Sur team, balit allo. Sa bali nga nagi Bigan City nga division, papagayam kasjay. Di yamet parte na ti Ilocos Norte, balit allo damo di jay, same as Ilocos Sur. Dito yung parte na ti La Union, Duwama, no, DJ Pangasinan 1, 2, San Carlos, Dagupan, ken Alaminos, mga kaibigan. DJ tapos so nga, barbareng no hantay nga makulelat lalo ka na nagpintas mo tayo Kirini Stadium tayo po nga nagpraktisan nyo bing. So nga lalayngan nyo, right? Pero kita nyo ba si salunad nyo, tasapay lang kumatawan apo ti madisgrasya, kada kita'y atleta tayo. Mga kaibigan nga mapan sumabak. Halos amin na po halos amin nga ayayam ket inda po atenan tapugan kung nakit di mga kaibigan digito nga atleta tayo. Kita nyo ba sila giti trainer, digiti coaches ita. Right? Hangad kayo ti priority, digito beng di priority. Sapil ako mata digitay food supply da. Di kita'y arwaten da po. Sa pila ko mata okay amin. Ya? Awan ti issue manen nga makalkalitan. Apo kailian. So, tatapay lang nga good luck and congratulations kada kayo nga atleta iti probinsya tayo nga Ilocos Sur, Bigan City, and Candon City, mga kaibigan. Okay? Commercial break muna tayo. Or BBM muna tayo. Tara, BBM.
Dahil tutuloy nga ako sa UK, sabi ko ito na yung kung baga hindi ako makakapag-arrival statement doon sa Maynila, kaya pagkakataon ko na lang ito na bigay ng statement tungkol nga dito sa nakakatapos lamang na bisita natin sa United States at sa pamahalaan kay President Biden sa pamahalaan ng Estados Unidos. So this brings to an end my official working visit to Washington, D.C. Over the past 4 days, I met with Joe Biden, the President, Vice President Kamala Harris, my counterpart in the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Secretary Tom Vilsack, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, and several other cabinet officials who joined President Biden in our expanded bilateral meetings. Our discussions were very productive. We are of the same mind that our long-standing alliance and partnership must be adapted to address the challenges of our time in order to bring about lasting peace and sustainable prosperity to our countries and to our peoples. The joint statement we issued outlines the key initiatives that we will pursue across all areas of our bilateral engagement to achieve these objectives. I look forward to having our respective teams follow through on the many areas of cooperation that we have identified. This will help advance our key priorities with respect to agriculture and food security, and to promote energy security as we transition to clean energy and boost trade and build resilience of our supply chains, enhancing connectivity and digitalization. also of climate change, mitigation, and adaptation. In addition to existing bilateral policy dialogue platforms and working groups, we agreed to institutionalize a ministerial-level study group to advance cooperation on climate-smart agriculture, which I myself will lead. I also met with quite a few U.S. companies, both those looking to further expand their already valuable presence and operations in the Philippines, and those looking to invest in our country for the first time. They are all committed to be part of this development journey that we have embarked upon. We returned to the Philippines with over $1.3 billion in investment pledges that have the potential to create around 6,700 new jobs for Filipinos within the country. When realized, these investments will support our country's economic recovery efforts and further strengthen the foundations of our economic environment. We expect even more investment that will lead to materialize once these companies firm up their plans. Nevertheless, the interest is a welcome sign of their trust and confidence in the Philippines as an investment destination. Together, we will be working on addressing some of our key economic challenges, particularly food, energy, and health security, digital connectivity, and the cross-cutting issues of climate change and pandemic preparedness. The discussions that we had with the U.S. business community also affirmed the optimism which international investors view the Philippines today. It was with great pride that I received their praises for the talent, ingenuity, work ethic of Filipinos. This has become the main driving force for bringing their investments to our country. We also welcome all the initiatives to expand collaboration with the Philippine government and our universities to support the continued growth of local talent. These, complemented by our game-changing economic reforms, will serve as a firm foundation for an indomitable partnership. My visit would not have been complete without meeting with Filipino community from the U.S. East Coast, as well as some who came all the way from the Caribbean. I thank them for their contributions to the communities in the Philippines and in the United States. They continue to bring honor to our country in the practice of their chosen professions. They continue to bring a shine to the reputation of Philippines and Filipinos with their philanthropic work, especially during calamities and disasters that have touched so many lives. I urge our fellow kababayans here in the East Coast to continue to be our partners in promoting the country for tourism and investments. I then capped my visit with a speaking engagement at the Center of Strategic and International Studies, where I shared my reflections on why I think the Philippines and the United States has been and will continue to be naturally drawn to each other. Beyond our treaty alliance, we are bound by shared values and our commitment to mutual prosperity. I underscored my main message during this visit. The Philippines and the United States will have to forge closer economic ties and ensure that our bilateral partnership works for our people. That will bring a truly important alliance, a truly valuable partnership, and a continuing friendship into the 21st century. Thank you. I think there are a few questions.
Yes, Mr. President. The floor to press corps. First question from Ms. Daphne Galvez of Inquirer.net.
Good evening, Mr.
Hi,
President.
good evening. Good evening na ba?
After, yes. After the U.S. and the Philippines finalized its bilateral defense guidelines, China said that the South China Sea should not be used as a hunting ground for forces outside of the region, and it opposed what it called as meddling in the issue to harm China's sovereignty and maritime rights. What can you say about this, sir?
Well, I do not think as a Filipino and representing the Philippines, I don't feel alluded to. How can anyone say that we are not a party in interest in all of these issues? So I think that kind of statement was directed more towards the United States than it was for the Philippines. I think the Philippines actions are in continuing to strengthen our capabilities, to continue to find and forge partnerships with the United States, and both in the governmental sector and also with the private corporations that we have spoken to, as an important part of what we have been trying to develop in the past almost 1 year. And that is I think, only right and proper, because we in the Philippines need to do this if we are going to go forward and find new opportunities for our people. At hindi naman masasabi na walang karapatan ng Pilipinas na gawin lahat yun. Kaya yung statement na yan, sa palagay ko hindi nakadirect sa Pilipinas.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, we have a question from Tina Maralit of Manila Times.
Hey, sir. Good afternoon po. Sir, prior to this trip, you said that you want the Mutual Defense Treaty to evolve. In your sit-down po with President Joe Biden, were there specific provisions of the MDT that you discussed with him? And if so po, what was his reaction?
Against, you have to, if
The specific provisions, prior to this trip, you said that you want the MDT to evolve po. Were you able to mention
we're not yet
specific?
there. What we did in this trip and what we have managed to formulate are the guidelines pa lang doon sa mga magiging provision at saka magiging detalye. But the premise continues to be the same. It's a strengthening of relationship, and the word "evolve" is one that I have been using, and that other people have seemed to have adopted, because that is exactly what it is that we need to do. We have to evolve, and why? To explain it, is that we need to evolve because the situation that we face is evolving, and when I speak about the evolving situation, I'm not only talking about security and defense. I'm talking about trade. I'm talking about economy. I'm talking about climate change. I'm talking about all the other aspects of our society, of our economy, and even our government that we have to adjust as a response to what changes we are facing. Iba na ang mundo ngayon. Hindi na kagaya kung ano yung mundo natin noong November ng 2019, hindi na natin makikita yon. At talaga namang ayaw natin bumalik doon. Tayo ay tumutungo sa kinabukasan natin. At yun, kailangan natin kilalanin kung ano ang kailangan gawin dito sa bagong sitwasyon. Kaya evolve ang aking ginagamit na salita.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from Ryo Kiyomiya of Shimbun.
Thank you, President. This is Ryo Kiyomiya from the Asahi Shimbun, Japanese newspaper. I have two questions. So first, regarding the tension in the Taiwan Strait, at your meeting with President Biden and your counterparts, what kind of discussion did you have to deter the contingency in Taiwan, and how to react to the Taiwan Strait crisis? And secondly, at the meeting with President Biden, joint statement mentions a trilateral cooperation, including Japan and Australia. So what kind of cooperation do you expect, and what kind of role do you expect Japan to play for the stability and peace in the region?
I expect a developing cooperation. Patuloy ang pagpatibay natin ng ating pagsasama at pagpapartner dito sa iba't ibang bansa, na hindi lamang yung mga nakapaligid sa Pilipinas, hindi lamang ang ating karating bansa, kundi pati na ang mga bansa na dati hindi naman natin nakakausap dahil walang pangangailangan na makaroon tayo ng partnership. Kagaya ng pagsagot ko doon sa nakaraang tanong, yun talaga ay nagbago lahat. Kaya kailangan natin na ayusin lahat ang ating mga arrangements. We have to fix our arrangements, our alliances, so that they conform to the needs of the day. And that's again, we comes back again to that process of evolution. Because the situation is new, then the solutions have to also be new. And that is why we are now formulating those partnerships between all the different countries, not just Australia, not just the United States, also South Korea, also Japan, all of the ASEAN member states. And I think we can continue to do that. And I know that these countries that I have mentioned, are already of the same mind. Pareho ng pag-iisip tungkol sa mga pangangailangan na natin gawin at kung saan ang pinaka makakatulong sa Pilipinas ng mga partnership. Sila rin ay ganyan din ang kanilang pag-iisip. Sila rin ay naghahanap na nga ng mga itong group na magsama-sama upang harapin ang bagong mundo na sabay-sabay. It seems that the message of unity that we were espousing during the campaign is beginning to extend to unity not only in the local situation in the Philippines but also in an international scale. Kaya yun ang naging talumpati ko nung ako'y nagsalita sa UN na kailangan na natin magkaisa, kailangan na tayong magkaintindihan upang makapagtulungan tayo sa isa't isa. So, I think it is not only the Philippines that thinks that way. It's not the only Australia that thinks that way. It's not only the US that thinks that way. I think every country in the world is thinking in those terms. At least most of the countries that have not, that have continued to keep open relationships with their partner governments around the world are also of the same mind. And that's why I'm confident that that process will continue and will go from strength to strength.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Marlon Ramos from PDI.
Magandang gabi po, Mr. President.
Yes.
Sir, you just made very interesting remarks during the CSIS forum this afternoon. You said, and I quote, "The syndicates have grown stronger, wealthier, and more influential, worryingly so." This despite what you mentioned, abuses committed by certain elements in the government. Sir, how do you assess the drug war of the previous administration, and how do you intend to go after, to make those people behind those abuses accountable?
I'm in no position to assess the administration of anybody else. That is not proper for me to. That's not a proper role for me to take. But when you ask what we are doing, alam naman ninyo lahat. We formed the commission and I asked for the resignation of all the police officers from Colonel up, so that we can assess and see and study what their records are. Kung sila ba ay kasama sa mga sindikato, kung sila ba ay may kinalaman dito sa patuloy na paglago ng drug problem sa Pilipinas. Kaya yun ang palagay kong unang-una. Dahil hindi mangyayari ito, tignan na lang ninyo ang sitwasyon, ang drug problem sa lahat ng iba't ibang bansa sa buong mundo. Ang mga nagpapatakbo niyan ay hindi yung mga maliliit na tao na nakikita mo sa lansangan na sila mismo nagbebenta o user sila. Hindi naman sila ang nagpapatakbo niyan. Ang nagpapatakbo niyan ay mga matataas na opisyal, kuminsan sa pulis, kuminsan sa gobyerno. So yun ang hinahabol natin. Kaya isinimula natin sa pulis dahil law enforcement sila. Sila ang dapat na nakatutok dito sa problemang ito. Kung hindi gumaganda ang sitwasyon, ibig sabihin hindi nila nagagawa ang trabaho nila. At kaya naman natin ginawa yung ginawa natin upang tanungin, bakit hindi ninyo nagawa ang trabaho ninyo? Baka may kakulangan sa sistema ng pulis, ayusin natin. Baka naman talaga ito ay kasabwat doon sa ating mga tinatawag na drug lord. At kung yung iba, sila mismo ang nagiging drug lord. Kaya yun ang mga hinahabol natin. Kaya yan ang palagay ko, malaking bagay yan. Ngayon, sinasabi na kung magtanggal kahit na ma-identify natin sila, tatanggalin natin, may papalit dyan. Yun ang iiwasan natin. Yun ang binabantayan natin ngayon. So sa kasalukuyan, yung dalawa na sa pulis na nagbigay ng courtesy resignation ay tinanggap na ang resignation. May 30 labis na 30 na under investigation pa rin. Titignan natin kung sila ba ay dapat kasuhan, kung sila ba ay kailangan suspindihin, kung ano man. Dahil kung meron man silang kinalaman sa mga drug syndicate, iba-ibang involvement. Meron yung pinababayaan lang, look the other way. Ika nga, they just look the other way. Ano yung magiging parusa para dyan? As opposed to, yun talagang pinapalakad, yung mga opisyal, pinapalakad yung mga tropa nila para tulungan ang drug syndicate. Iba naman siguro ang sitwasyon na yun. Kaya yun ang pinag-aaralan natin para naman, karamihan naman, marami naman sa pulis, wala namang involvement dyan, ay mababait at talagang nagsisipag upang matuklasan at mabuo ang mga kaso na hinahawakan nila. Kaya kailangan natin maging maingat din na hindi natin hahabulin yung mga walang kinalaman. Kaya kailangan natin pag-aralan kung sino ba talaga ang dapat imbestigahan, kung sino ba talaga ang dapat parusahan.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last question from Mark Fetalco of PTV4.
Good evening, sir. May we know po kung anong oras po kayo tutungo sa United Kingdom for King Charles' coronation? And secondly, where do you see the Philippine-UK relations under King Charles' reign? And ano po yung nakikita nating benefits po nito? At lastly, tatanggapin po ba natin yung imbitasyon po ni Prime Minister Rishi Sunak na makipagdialogo po sa inyo?
Well, alis ako mamaya. In a few hours, in 2 hours, alis na ako in a while para makatungo, para darating ako, magla-landing ako sa Gatwick. Dahil, ang dahilan kung bakit sa Gatwick ako maglaland, usually, hindi sa Gatwick ang pinupuntahan. Ngunit ngayon ay pupuntahan ko yung Gatwick dahil titignan ko yung operation ng kanilang airport. Kung bagay ba ito, yung mga lessons learned nila, yung mga ginagawa nila, kung best practices yan na pwede nating dalhin sa Pilipinas. At isa sa pinakamalaking dahilan kung bakit ako pupunta ay kilala namin si Prince Charles pa ang pagkakilala ko sa kanya. At kaming lahat nung namatay nga si Queen Elizabeth, ay hindi ako nakapunta at ang pinadala ko ang kapatid ko na si Irene, kilala rin ni Prince Charles. Kaya sabi ko naman, ay palagay ko dahil magkakilala kami, dapat naman napakalaking bagay na siya'y kukoronahan bilang hari ng United Kingdom, ay dapat makapag-attend na ako. At the UK is a constitutional monarchy. So, in terms of foreign policy, may input ang royal family, pero hindi galing doon. It will be the foreign ministry that will determine what our relationship with the UK is. And I think that is constant right now. And patuloy lang naman, we trade and we continue to help ang ating mga Filipino nationals na nandun sa UK. At yun lang siguro ang mga concern natin. Ngunit titignan natin, kaya makikipagkita ako sa kanilang bagong Prime Minister Sunak, upang makapag-usap kami kung meron bang pagbabago sa kanyang pag-iisip sa pagpartner ng UK at saka ng Pilipinas. Sa palagay ko ay ganun din ang sasabihin niya na dapat papatibayin natin at hirap na hirap ang ekonomiya ng UK. So baka isang bagay yun na pag-uusapan namin kung paano mag-trade o kung paano dagdagan isa sa lahat. I'm sure babanggitin niya kung pwedeng makakuha ng healthcare workers galing Pilipinas dadalhin sa UK dahil alam mong nangyari nung pandemic sumikat talaga ng husto ang healthcare workers na Pilipino at Pilipina at kaya't lahat ng bansa ay umaasa at nagtatanong kung pwede ba ay paramihin natin ng mga healthcare workers na pupunta. So isang bagay yun. But I think in general, we will maintain the same relationship. It has been a relationship very advantageous to all parties involved. So I think that we will stay the course and continue to deal with each other in a very similar way that we have done before. On the sidelines lang. Dahil kung titignan nyo yung schedule, pagdating ko doon, may reception sa palasyo, sa Buckingham Palace. The next day is the coronation. Pagkatapos ng coronation, alis na ako, babalik na ako ng Maynila. Kahit wala halos oras. So, may mga proposal, makikipag-usap ako, siyempre sa Prime Minister Sunak. Pero habang siguro nag-aantay doon sa actual na seremonya ng pag-coronation sa King Charles. So ganun na lang, it has to be very casual dahil everybody has followed a very heavy schedule of the coronation. Meron din mga request ng ibang leaders na mga gusto makipag-usap sa akin, pero ganun din, puro ganun. Ang tawag din, ginagawa na lang natin, pagka may pagkakataon, ay halika, usap tayo. Siguro, and that's what's going to happen siguro this time again. Because I cannot see any window of time in the schedule kung saan pwedeng mag-sit down, mag-usap, to exchange notes, etc. So very casual lang ito, very informal. Pero wag natin mamaliitin yung mga ganyang klaseng meeting dahil kung minsan yung hindi mo inaakalain mangyayari, may nangyayari na napaka-importante pala. Kaya siyempre open tayo lagi na makipag-usap sa lahat. At baka naman sakali meron tayong makita pagkakataon na makatulong sa Pilipinas.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations.
Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. Thank you very much and see you in Manila, Philippines.
Room full. It should be, because this is a rare opportunity for all of us. Thank you all for coming. My name is John Hamry. I'm the president. It's just been really a standout visit, and I think we're all very glad for that. You know, there's such a unique relationship between our two countries. It's very personal. It's bottom up. About 3 years ago, I spent a fair amount of time in a series of hospitals, and at every step of the way, there was a Filipino that was helping me. The emergency room, the ICU, the hematologists, the nurses, the doctors. And it wasn't just that they were healthcare professionals. It's that they brought a buoyancy of spirit that's so typical of the Philippines. You know, it made me want to get well because I wanted to live up to the generosity that they were expressing for me. It was marvelous and a great, great thing. You know, we've had choppy relations between our two countries through the years. My friend Henry Howard is here. Henry was instrumental in returning the Balalinga Bell. You say to most Americans, they don't know what you're talking about, right? No American knows what that means. Every Filipino knows what that is. We took a bell from a Catholic church as a war trophy, you know? And it took 100 years, I think, to get it back. You know, Henry, thank you for doing that. But it's emblematic of the unevenness we've had between our two countries. We're right now entering a remarkably positive period of time because of President Marcos. He is bringing new dynamism to this relationship. And we see each other now in ways where we need each other at a modern time. And it's a wonderful thing. So it's a privilege for all of us. This is his last big event before he leaves tonight. So he's giving us the privilege of talking with him and then also getting his
I get a special Filipino footstool. So thank you for such thoughtfulness. Thank you very much for the kind introduction from Mr. John Hamri, the President and CEO. Also with us is our Foreign Secretary, Secretary Ricky Manalo, and our ambassador, who cannot wait to see our plane leave. She has been working on this trip for a year, and I think that we owe him a pat on the back for the very good work, the groundwork that he has put in for us to have, for us to be able to say that at the very least, this visit has been a most constructive and meaningful one. I was just speaking inside before we came out, and we were talking about the trip, and I said, generally speaking, there is a tendency sometimes when we have these official visits or state visits where you make these declarations and pronouncements which are very general, and what we refer to as motherhood statements. We have on this trip, that has not been the case at all. We have gone into a remarkable amount of detail in terms of the establishment and the strengthening and deepening of relations between the U.S. and the Philippines. I am lucky, however, that these arrangements and these agreements have come about because we have such a very strong foundation of our relationship. And now here we are, the CSIS, one of the world's foremost policy institutions on national security and foreign policy issues. The Secretary stood before you to provide his perspectives, our perspectives, on the Philippines' deep bilateral ties with the United States, as well as our country's place in the Indo-Pacific and in the world. Today, I would like to delve into what I think our two countries and peoples have been and will continue to be naturally drawn to each other. I dare say that in a similar vein, the future of the United States will hold more promise if the U.S. works closely, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, in lockstep with the Philippines. The answer is simple and more fundamental even than our almost 72 years of treaty alliance. What truly binds our two countries and peoples is our shared value and our commitment to mutual prosperity. In May last year, a record 56 million Filipinos exercised their right to vote. True to our roots as the first Asian republic, we showed the world once again that the Philippines remains a bastion of freedom in the Asia Pacific. When I came into office, still reel from the lingering effects of the pandemic and the ripple effects of even the crisis in Ukraine and to the Philippines and to the global economy. My father once said, "Of what good is democracy if it is not for the poor?" He was absolutely right. I'm quite certain that you will all agree that this is the very same principle, a common goal of peace and prosperity for our peoples. We need to work with like-minded partners. It is therefore not surprising that over the past 20 months, in particular, our two countries have seen a steady exchange of official engagements at all levels of government. This includes my first meeting with President Biden on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York, and this visit the first by a sitting Philippine president to the United States in over 10 years. I do not know quite how that developed that way, as that has not been the case in the past, but we are back on our normal road of partnership, working together, hand in relationship, and where we want our alliance and our partnership to bring us, particularly in terms of addressing the most pressing challenges confronting our two countries today. We noted that the food, water, and energy crises, climate change, terrorism, transnational organized crime, they have all become enormous and complex challenges, not only for the smaller countries such as the Philippines, but even for the large countries and great powers like the United States. We are grappling with both new and traditional threats to our people's security. Nowhere more acutely felt than in the Indo-Pacific region, and the Philippines sits in emerging challenges. It is because national security is no longer simply about territorial defense. Economic security is national security. After some fits and starts in the nearly 125 years since its independence, the Philippines is poised to achieve upper middle income status in 1 or 2 years' time. We are projected to become the 16th largest economy in the world by 2040. For our more than 100 million Filipinos, ensuring their economic well-being and uplifting their quality of life has always been the priority of this administration. We continue to work on finding synergies and aligning our efforts to sustain our economic momentum and secure inclusive development by expanding cooperation in key areas such as agriculture, energy, infrastructure, to welcome and embrace the US-led Indo-Pacific Economic Framework because of fairness, competitiveness, of inclusiveness, sustainability, and resilience. One could argue that the Philippines and the United States are natural strategic trade and investment partners. The challenge now is to make sure that the IPEF brings about concrete, which goes beyond digital connectivity, which has become the most common use of that word, but to include transportation, include trade, include travel by land, by sea, by air. And in that way, we strengthen supply chains, we build resilience, and we open up access and opportunities not only to the digital economy, but to the other emerging sectors that as yet we have not necessarily totally identified, but will come down and will be something that we will have to face in the very near future. We see a couple of issues that are of vital importance to our economic partnerships. First, the program covers over 2,000 products and certainly can be expanded to cover other products of interest. I do not say this lightly, but the Philippines has much to offer when it comes to economic opportunities that both countries can take advantage of. We grew at 7.6% and last year, which made the Philippines one of the fastest growing economies in the Indo-Pacific in 2022. While facing global economic headwinds, we are still projected to grow by around 6% this year, and that is the forecast that we are hoping actually to improve on, and another 6.2% next year. We have a young, dynamic, and skilled labor. Our macroeconomic fundamentals remain strong. As the United States actively looks for alternative localization, agriculture, food security, critical green minerals, digital infrastructure and telecommunications, and, as has been spoken about, and in healthcare. We believe that not only do these areas have a high potential for growth, but will also provide the most benefits to our peoples. To advance our common climate agenda, energy and green metals cooperation will be an important piece of our engagement and must be prioritized. The Philippines is interested in becoming a strategic partner of the U.S. in terms of metal processing for American battery application and development. The increased deployment of clean technologies comes with an increase. We are eager to work with the U.S. government to carve out a clear pathway for maximizing incentives under the Inflation Reduction Act to help our sources of raw and processed materials for battery production to complement your national blueprint for lithium batteries. We have recently advanced electrical costs down. This will allow us to progress discussions with the U.S. companies offering nuclear technologies for government and for commercial use, while we continue cooperation on other capacity building initiatives under other strategies, under Strategic Civilian Nuclear Cooperation MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding. The adoption of geographic information systems, remote sensing, artificial intelligence in the baselining and change detection of terrestrial, coastal, and marine ecosystems. This will aid us as we establish our own geospatial database and equip us to move towards strengthening science-based policy making in our country. We certainly would welcome discussions on joint action research with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. The NOAA has been providing. Furthermore, with NASA, we hope to formalize our participation in their Asia Air Quality Program. Recognizing that the weather sector has the opportunity to lead the change and to deliver transformative solutions in our quest for climate resilient and sustainable development, we likewise encourage the exchange of knowledge on integrated water resource management and opportunities for joint transdisciplinary action research, with particular focus on the nexus between climate change, biodiversity conservation, and food, energy, and water security. Building on the training of technicians and specialists, including postgraduate education scholarships, providing necessary equipment and implements for the center, and establishing what is envisioned to be the first biosafety level 4 laboratory in the country. We look forward to welcoming pharmaceutical companies open to taking advantage of incentives in using the Philippines as a base for their vaccine manufacturing and distribution operations. We also look forward to our continued partnership in fighting non-communicable diseases such as tuberculosis, diabetes, obesity. We will require massive investments in the human, physical, and technological resources of the Philippine Genome Center, including access to artificial intelligence tools, training of technicians and of scientists, equipment, and relevant research. There are existing cooperative projects that can be built upon or expanded. We also hope to partner with the U.S. Geological Service in training, research, and projects to support our efforts in making a holistic intervention for protecting our coastal areas by targeting environmental degradation in the uplands that impact upon our coastal ecosystems, such as through sedimentation, by restoring the shoreline and protecting marine ecosystems. The United States consistently ranks amongst our top 3 trading partners and top 10 sources of foreign direct investment. We are proud that many U.S. companies, including those in the Fortune 500, have found a home in the Philippines, and hope that more companies would look to us as they devise, because creating prosperity and realizing human potential will not only make the Philippines a more reliable alliance partner for the United States, it will also strengthen our democracies. A bilateral partnership that works for our peoples will in turn attract the support that it needs to thrive, creating a mutually reinforcing circle of trust, one that will truly bring our alliance, our partnership, and our friendship into the 21st century. Thank you all very much for your attention and good afternoon.
No serbisyo analaka nga catering ti Masapulyo, adda iti Caril's Garden Catering Services ang masarakan di Mabini Street, Barangay Rizal, Kabugaw, Ilocos Sur. Adu pa iti agkakaimas nga makan ti inkay pagpilnyan. Ken saan lang kadayta, na ornos ti serbisyo da, napintas iti set up da. Ken saan yon a problema no kasapulan nyo iti venue. Oray anyaman nga okasyon ket mabaling nga rambakan kas iti kasar, birthday, anniversary, reunions, meeting, ken dumapay. Caril's Garden and Catering Services ti kapintasan ken kalakaan. Nadaras pa'y akasarita ti akin bagi ani Sir Carlito ken Maricar Asena. Wenno kontaken iti numero 0917-799-1273. Wenno 0917-799-5110. Caril's Garden and Catering Services. Umay kayon!
Problema yu kadi iti panangalat ti student driving permit, renewal iti lisensya ng agmaneho, ken panang-upgrade iti restriction code dagiti lisensyayo. Solbaren dagiti nga problema yo iti RX Driving School. Ti RX Driving School ket accredited iti LTO ng eskwelaan amang ipaay kadagiti sumaganad. TDC wenno theoretical driving course. Kasapulan daytoy kadagiti mangalat ti student permit. PDC wenno practical driving course paramat kadagiti mangala iti non-prop wenno professional driver's license. Upgrading iti restriction code paramat kadagiti mangnayon iti mabalinda a manehuen ken ti special driving course paramat kadagiti kayat na tagsursurong agmaneho iti motorsiklo, tricycle, four wheels, manual or automatic ken dumapay. Naanos ken nalaing dagiti driving instructors da nga accredited iti LTO. Dito'y 2nd District, masarakan ti RX Driving School iti National Highway, Barangay Tablak, Candon City, abay iti Sacred Heart Medical Laboratory. Dito'y mat 1st District, masarakan ti RX Driving School, abay mismo iti LTO. Dita poblasyon is San Ildefonso, Ilocos Sur. Ken dita probinsya ti Ilocos Norte, masarakan ti RX Driving School iti along the National Highway, Barangay Kalagip, Batak City, sango ti Locondia Cultural Center ken Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital. Asideg iti mismong LTO. No lisensya ti panagmaneho, ken nasayat a pagsusuruan ngagmaneho, RX Driving School iti papanan. Para tadadong informasyon, tumawag wenno ag-text kayo iti 0917-578-3132 and 0917-811-0581. Dito 1st District San Ildefonso, 0917-306-3735. Itamot 2nd District Candon City, 0917-120-1745. Ken Ditabatak City, 0917-329-0591. RX Driving School.
Kaya't mo kanayon na nakakondisyon ti motor mo, saan tayo abaybayan ngagdadael? Siguden na patarimaan, tadda tinalaing ken naanos a mekaniko, ken pakagatangan ti high-end ken genuine a piyesa ti motorsiklo. King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises. Anyaman na piyesa ken brand ti motorsiklo kasapulan at daamin dita King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises. Saan kan ngagpaspasarak, mapankan di sigurado. Adupay di pagpilyan tinadumaduma a brand affiliate, motor oil ken kumpleto apang setup. Pasyaren ti Pestuda sa Jikabarwan, Santa Catalina, Ilocos Sur. at dabay branch na ditaigid ti National Highway, Sunto, Bantay, Ilocos Sur, ken Sadyay, Dagupan City. Ride safety. Siguradwen ang napintas ti kondisyon dagiti motorsiklo. Adda ti mapagtalkaan a King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises. Ken no kasapulan piloga na pagpasya ken adday ti darayan nyo nga okasyon. Kastapay no dasabaten nyo akaming ti pamilyayo a balikbayan adda anda iti ban amarentaan. Kontakin nyo ti numero 0917-188-7507. Kukwa ken imatmatonan da Bonnie ken Lynn Rabe. King Rabe Motorcycle Parts Enterprises.
Only foods ba ang hanap mo? Kaya't mo mukbang ng basit ti budget. Kapangkan sa Books Eat Food Hub. Masarakan ti igit ti National Highway Barangay Kabarwan, Bantay, Ilocos Sur. Gisusub dati only wings, rice, lechon kawale, sisig ken dumapay a pagpilian. In kayon ti Books Eat Food Hub. Matmatunan dito ni Miss Eileen Tolentino ken ni Miss Luenalu Manlies. And the food, ngem suwak sa bulsa. Anya pa ito orayam, pankan ti Books Eat Food Hub. Books Eat Food Hub, sigurado mabsog ta buksit mo. Nagbebero kay matinaimas nga pulutan wano dagiti maprito amakmakan. Saragam lang ti Choylin Fried Station. Masarakan din na dumaduma pwesto ti probinsya ng Ilocos Sur at dati ta syudad ti Vigan, Ili ti Santo Domingo, Cabugao, Sinait, Narvacan, ken Canton City. At dapat pwesto dita Abra ken pati Batak ken Lawag City, Ilocos Norte. At doon dagiti mabili mo pagpilian. At dati fried chicken, crispy pata, fried itik, lechon kawali, tokwat baboy ken pork sisig. Choylin Fried Station. Fried to perfection. No kaya't mumati only rice ken only soup all you can, 3 mantas grill house lang sapat na. Ado dagiti pagbilyang nga combo meals nga sigurado swak ti budget mo. Masarakan ti 3 mantas grill house sa Bayubay Sur, San Vicente, Ilocos Sur. What are you waiting for? Come and visit 3 mantas grill house today. Kung mahilig ka mat dagiti matuno makmakan, na tuno grill house lang ang iyong kailangan. Dahil offering chicken inasal, pork barbecue, chicken barbecue, only rice pork inasal, ken only chicken wings. Masarakan tinatuno grill house sa San Jose, Narvacan, Ilocos Sur. Anya pa ito rorayang, pasyara mo dagito nga panganan, na imas tagbiag nunananam timakan.
Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives. Ti kooperatiba ano bayagin nga nagseserbi kadang ti Ilocano iti amyanan a Luzon. Ti kooperatiba ang manpapaay ti serbisyo, benepisyo ken mangisakit kadagiti empleyado ken miyembro na. Ti Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives wano NSCC ket adon tinatulungan na. Babayan med iti namayat alangin-langin ken kooperasyon dagiti miyembro ken mangimatmaton. Adon tinagduroasan ti kooperatiba. Adupay dagiti naynayon ang kasdek akas ti NSCC Farm, Chicharon Processing Facility, Macro Laboratory, kastameten ti NSCC Plaza ken NSCC Business Center. Isungan niya pelang ter orayam makikaptengkan iti kadakilan a kooperatiba iti probinsya. Di Nueva Segovia Consortium of Cooperatives suman ni NSCC. Imatmatunan na daytoy ni Dr. Gibina Kenny.
As the Heritage Province of the North reopens to tourists, it launches the all-new Tour Ilocos Sur app. A quick guide to Ilocos Sur at your fingertips. Find the best tourist spots. Hotels. Bars and restaurants. And authentic Ilocos Sur products and food. Be updated on upcoming events. Plus, get notified on the important announcements and updates. Available for global download on Android and iOS. The Tour Ilocos Sur app. Historical becomes digital.
Rapaapo ganiti makayayo abuya iti uneg iti pagtaingam. Anyaman nagasapulam kas ti moderno a klase ti silaw at adita ti chandelier LED lights kenda dumapay. Kasabay karigiti agkagapintas at toilet bowl. Wall claddings stainless sa lababo. Kasamit din na dumaduma ti klase na tiles kenda dumapay ang materyales at kasapulan ti pagbangon ti balay. Pasyaren ti AC Newborn Home and Builder Center. Nalawa ti showroom da. Agkomportable kang agpili ti kayat mo a disenyo. Mabalin pa nga isuda iti mani-set up kadagiti katangin. Masarakan sa Rizal Street, Sulphur, Bantay, Ilocos Sur. Imatmatunan na Mr. and Mrs. Alain Chan. Saanen ngagtaktak mapankan sa JAC Newborn Home and Builders Center.
No serbisyo analaka nga catering ti Masapulyo, adda iti Caril's Garden Catering Services ang masarakan di Mabini Street, Barangay Rizal, Kabugaw, Ilocos Sur. Adu pay ti agkakaimas nga makan ti inkay pagpilian. Ken saan lang kadayta, na ornos ti serbisyo da, napintas iti set up da. Ken saan yon a problema no kasapulan nyo iti venue. Oray anyaman nga okasyon ket mabaling nga rambakan kas iti kasar, birthday, anniversary, reunions, meet